Hello. So, continuing on with my investigation of Rudolf Steiner. Actually, over the last 3 or 4 months, I have been attempting to integrate the Christian year into my family, into my household. And the reason for that, other than that Steiner recommends it, and having been first and foremost a Christian himself above any of his own ideas, is because Christianity is supposed to be lived. The story of Christianity can be lived every single year on repeat. And with each cycle, we should be deepening our understanding and embodying more of the wisdom of Christianity. So it's said. One of the festivals, which are the sort of milestones throughout the year, the major opportunities for contemplation and to act out, to enact the parts of the Christian story. One of those major ones is Michaelmas. Some would say Michaelmas or perhaps Michaelmas. I say Michaelmas because it's the same as Christmas, not Christmas. So Michaelmas comes on the 29th of September. So for those watching the video as it's been published, we've just missed it. However, it's still relevant. Come back to it next year, perhaps. Michaelmas comes at a time of year when the harvest is in. The hard graft of the summer is over. Hopefully it's been a good harvest. And we are looking ahead to darker, colder nights and not knowing what sort of severity the winter has in store for us. Hopefully, like I said, we've got a good stock of food in, but perhaps we haven't. We also don't know how harsh the weather's going to be. So it's a time that it could be very easy to be fearful. And in that fear, withdraw to become more interested in self-preservation, which is perhaps the opposite of the intention of Christianity, which is to be selfless and to be in service to life, to humanity. So at this time of year, the story of Saint Michael and the dragon is apt. It could also be the same story as, I think it is the same story as Saint George and the dragon, Saint George being the patron saint of England and other countries around the world, and perhaps also of Perseus and Andromeda, the Greek myth. These all seem to be the same story, and there's probably others that I don't know about as well. Please let me know in the comments below if you know of any others that share the same pattern. So Saint Michael and the dragon, what's going on in that story? Well, Saint Michael is the leader of the armies of heaven, of the hosts of heaven. He fights Satan, who attempts to invade, to take over kingdom of heaven, and casts him out. He casts him down to the earth. He falls into a blackberry bush. I haven't quite wrapped my head around that yet. Please, again, if anybody's got insights, put them in the comments. But he's cast down to the earth, put into his proper place, which is not in heaven, not in the kingdom of heaven where God reigns. So this story is telling us that we need to, from my investigations, telling us that partly we need to summon up the will, the strength to overcome anything that would compromise us, compromising us. If we take that the kingdom of heaven is within us, anything that might come in, any evil that might attempt to come in and compromise that kingdom of heaven, and to put it in its proper place. So when we are facing the potential for a very dark, cold winter of strife and lack of resources, to fight that pull towards self-preservation, which would compromise us deeply perhaps in our spiritual life, in our soul, and to continue to be connected with humanity, to be in service, to remain Christian, essentially. So that's what the story is telling me. There's a great need for this story and stories like it throughout the Christian year, and I'll be publishing the other stories as the year ticks on, for us to tell these stories to our children, because we are totally immersed in a Western culture, particularly that is, you could call it even satanic and luciferic and Ahrimanic, and just not good for us. We are awash with filth. And that might be strong language, but I truly believe that the amount of nonsense that we're subjected to, and YouTube and other video platforms that I am using and social media, a big part of that. And I'm aware of that. Publishing on this platform, I'm contributing to that in some way. but hopefully bringing some illumination as well and drawing people to their inner lives, their inner work. Nonetheless, there's an awful lot of nonsense on platforms like this that can confuse us. So as a father of children, small people, I want to make sure that I am imbuing their bodies, their souls, helping them to sculpt themselves from true stories, wisdom, a map really that they can use to grow through, to grow up in, and to give them strength and courage when they inevitably face the difficulties of life. The story of Michael and the Dragon is a very potent one. And in the Western world right now, particularly, this message, this story is more relevant than it has been for perhaps hundreds of years, in that we are facing food and energy shortages. There's an awful lot of propaganda by governments as well about whether that's true or not, what that might look like, how severe it will be. But nonetheless, it seems to be that a lot of people are going to be on less resources this winter than they have in previous generations, even for generations. So it is a very, very relevant story. So now is an opportunity, as much as that might be a scary prospect, now is an opportunity to really dig in and understand the lessons of Michaelmas and to apply them to your own lives. Do not retreat into self-preservation. It will not be in service to you or anyone around you, really. So I'd love to hear from you all how your studies are getting along, what you know about Michaelmas, anything else that's relevant in the comments. Like and subscribe and keep tuning in. I'll speak to you later.